just so you're aware of that, it'll go on my YouTube channel because most people are working in North America at this time of day. So, okay, let's get the presentation ready. Yeah, it's ready. Okay, now I'll get you guys to come up and we'll share the screen. We'll get underway. All right. Okay, there we go. Right. So welcome to How to Help Others Transmute Their Karma into Be Gifts of Service. I'm Nicolas Ngan of the Center for Conscious Ascension. So I'm speaking to you guys live, but also for the guys who are going to watch it later. So I'll sort of adjust the way I speak with this. And some people are going to watch it cold on YouTube, so I need to give a sort of standard sort of intro to this, people coming cold. So have you noticed how people turn away from the biggest karmic challenges they face in their lives? And no matter how hard they've tried, as they're just too painful to face them, they can't face them because they lack the spiritual map of life of how to overcome them. So in this webinar, we're going to identify or find out how you can help others identify these core karmic patterns and how to go about transmuting them. Because in those karmic patterns lies the thing that we're all looking for is our gift of service, that special thing we came here to do in life. The last place we think of looking is in our greatest emotional pain, but that's actually where the gift is. Something I learned the hard way. So that's what we're going to talk about today, the soul contract work. So I want to find out why you guys are here. Well, I'll tell you why I'm here. I'll start off. I'm here to share the soul contract reading work because it was so transformative when I first received my soul contract reading back in 1990 in Phoenix, Arizona, from Frank Harper, who was the founder of it. He channeled it from the soul of Moses. And I was on a carousel of growth workshop, a week-long workshop he used to run. And I was at the very beginning of my spiritual journey 30-odd years ago. And so he took out a Star of David. Well, he drew a Star of David, and then he did you take it out? He took it out, and he asked me for my birth name, and he put it on, and he matched the sounds of Hebrew to my English name, extracted the Hebrew numbers, and from there he explained my entire life, which had been chaos, seemingly random, not so good events happening, and he explained why all that was going on. And I was pretty much forever changed after that. And I said to him, Frank, where can I learn this? And he said, well, I'm teaching it in 6 weeks on a carousel of growth too. So I hung around in America with the people on the course. I used to travel around staying at different people's places. I met a lot of past life friends. And I learned it in February and I brought it to Europe. And then spent 2 or 3 years learning how to deliver readings because I was working a normal corporate job, and started teaching it in 1994, and then eventually left my corporate job in 97 and still doing what I'm doing now, teaching this sort of work. So sort of a brief summary of this, how this works. And then in about 2011, by that stage, Frank had passed over in 2007. So he had been writing a book about this, but never finished it. So my guide said, it's time to write the book. How many of you guys have read the book? Yeah. So that book was pretty much channeled through me as the light worker's guide to how it works down here. The book I wish I had when I was 20, when I was starting on this journey. Someone just explained to me what's going on. So I wrote it for you guys so you could get on with it. Because you know how tough it is without the manual of how it works down here. It can get pretty bad. Okay, but if you know what's going on, it's a little bit easier. So this is how all this work came about. And I'm here to share this work with as many people as possible. And the most effective way is to train some of you guys who, if you're interested in how to deliver readings to others. That's why we're here today. So you can find out if that's something for you. So I'd like to find out who you guys are. I know some of you quite well. And where you come from, what brought you here, and what you'd like from this, because the group intention will set the energy, and then we'll adjust the webinar to whatever you need, because it's 4 of you, so you can get plenty of my time, so make the most of it. Okay, so who wants to go first? Just wave at me if you want to share, and then switch on the mic and go for it. Don't be shy, can't hide here, there's only 4 of you. Judy.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Same.
Thank you. So I've learned a lot of modalities over the years, and I was in I'm in another modality, and there's no coincidences. This gentleman who was in a practice group a year ago emailed me, and he said, I don't know if you remember me. I actually don't remember you, but we were going to swap a session. So I normally would have been like, I don't know, but I said yes, and he is doing your modality, and so he cleared me of something. And I said, I have to know more about this. Like, this is amazing, amazing. And I mean, I do downloads and clears, like commands, but this is like next level stuff. I'm 58 years old. I had, massive trauma from childhood. And there are just a few things that I'm still having trouble clearing completely. And so that's why I jumped from modality to modality, really immersing myself in it. Not like, okay, so I did a little work and nothing's clearing, but I just know it could be something that I haven't found yet. So
Okay, so who was this? Did it work with you?
William.
Okay, well, okay, I know who that is. Yep.
Yeah, young guy.
Yep. Okay. So did he do divine healing, or was he giving you a soul contract reading, Judy?
A healing. He found a cerebral toxin, a cerebral something toxin.
Yeah.
Cleared that. I also had this thing with God many, many lifetimes ago that I thought I did something wrong, so I could never be completely connected to him.
Yeah.
And we did a clearing on that, which was amazing, amazing.
Okay. And what do you need from this today, Judy? What do you need from this webinar?
I don't know. I mean, I have this feeling in me that I just feel like never leaves, and I just want to clear it. I want to release it somehow, or feel like it's safe to, because I actually feel like it's not safe to release this. I almost feel like it's protecting me, that maybe possibly I need it. Because if I don't have it, then I'll be, exposed and out there in the world without a shield.
Maybe we'll look at your chart later. It'll probably be in there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And where are you located, Judy?
Long Island, New York.
Okay. Got more sunshine than we have here in England, by the looks of it. So. All right. Thank you. Who's next? Patricia, do you want to go?
Sure. Yeah. It's nice to meet everyone. My name's Patricia. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So it's like 10 in the morning here. And the reason I'm here is about a year ago, I saw a woman online that was doing soul contract readings, and I just was like, I have to look into this. And so I bought the book, read the whole book, got the thing, did my chart, tried to figure out what I could figure out by myself, which was pretty limited. And then I got a soul contract reading from a woman here. She lives in Arizona, and it was just so powerful. And I've been like Judy, like done a lot of modalities, started as a massage therapist in 2001. I'm currently a public school teacher, which I desperately want to get out of and start doing something that feels more authentic to me. And so I'm here because I am just interested in perhaps taking the training and becoming certified or whatever it is to do these readings, because I just think it's super powerful. I'd love to dive even deeper, because I feel like I just even scratched the surface of this. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, thank you. So you're ready to escape from the matrix?
So ready.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to do a webinar called Escape from the Matrix some stage. So we'll talk about that sort of stuff. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, who's next? Let's move back to Europe. Who wants to go first? Yeah, so do you want to say hi? Set some intention. It's very important when we do this. So.
Okay, well, nice meeting everyone. I have actually trained in soul contract reading back in 2007. And at that time, I didn't know even what it would be like. I just, anything, well, nothing pulled me in the world, basically no modality. I was looking for something that could pull me, and that was the only thing. Because it had soul in the, anything to do with soul was just making me sing, and there was nothing out there. So that's how I started. But I have come from the background where I didn't have any spiritual growth when I started the training. So I've done some years of doing soul contract readings, and then all of a sudden the way my life moved me, and I was with my son, well, I moved away from my relationship. It was just no space for it anymore. I had to just do what I had to do. And now I thought this is the time to return, but I haven't stopped developing spiritually. So that was ongoing. And I trained also in Divine Healing Master Key. So my desire is to return to both of those, soul contract reading and Divine Healing Master Key, and just be out there. Because as I have checked my chart, because I've forgotten most of it, then I checked that I am one of those avoiding, showing myself out there and not being in the society, even though I'm working in school with children, but nobody really knows me. So it's almost like, I think it's time to be maybe showing part of me, and that part is the spiritual part. So that's, I hope to get greater, how to say, I think I wanted to connect basically with Nicolas and whoever else is in that area of expertise, even if it's looking, just to see how others are perceiving it. Because probably within me is a lot of unworthiness. And I was thinking, if there are so many people trained, what am I going to do now joining years after? That's probably why I want to go back and see that there is lots of interest, because I have no connections whatsoever. So I don't have like a client base, nothing. I literally like this amoeba, 8 in karma, 8, and that has not merged with the society. That's literally how I was living. It's just that's it. That's me. So I think it's my comfort zone has to now be broken. I have to get out there and be comfortable enough.
Okay. Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's 15 years since I've seen Beata on the training. It's a long time.
15 years now.
15 years. It's a long time.
But when I looked into it, it was like I haven't left it.
Yeah.
It all comes back very quickly.
Yeah. So, where are you? Tell people where you are. Is everything?
I'm south of London in UK. It's a little town called Gillingham, and very nice. I love it here. And originally I come from Poland, but settled here in England.
Okay. So the easiest way to reconnect is that you can just repeat the class, but you can repeat it for about 1/3 of the normal cost to get the latest transmission. That'll reactivate you if you want to get back into being a practitioner. Some people do that because when you see it a second time, because it's evolved a lot in 15 years, what happens is that you go deeper. It'll help you remember, but it'll take you deeper. Getting a second transmission, and you'll see it differently because you've already got the core structure. So yeah, that's what we've discovered. That's why we do that. So that's available for divine healing and for soul contract if you want a refresher.
Okay.
Because then you're not sort of struggling thinking how all the pieces work, because you get to see the latest version of it. Then you go, now I know where I am. Now I know what I can do. And it sort of gives you a booster. So we have people sometimes do this as well. They come back to it. So
Thank you.
all right. Eleanor, are you up for sharing something
Yeah.
from Scandinavia?
Am I unmuted?
Yeah, you're loud and
Yeah.
clear. Don't touch
Okay.
anything. Fine.
Hello, everyone. Just to be short, whenever things get tough, I like to reconnect with this work because it resonates, and it does. I don't know. To me, it always brings hope somehow. So, and also with this training part, I would so much like to do it whenever I get the funds to do it. So it seems that that's pretty much where I am. Also, I can recognize this thing of being. It seems I'm on the verge of launching what it is I have to give, and I just need to get going, to get out there. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
am located at this very southern tip of Denmark, just on the border towards Germany.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're covering a good part of the world here. So yeah. Okay. Thanks everybody for sharing that. So let's get into the flow of what we're going to look at today. Okay, now we know why we're here. So it's a good start. So this is what I said earlier. Our karma gains our spiritual gift of service, and feel free to ask questions at any time. Okay. So here's a good question for you guys. When you started this spiritual journey, how many of you had got the impression that becoming a light worker or remembering a light worker was all about unicorns, rainbows, and love and light? Put your hand up.
Come again?
How many of you, when you started this journey, thought it would be all love and light, rainbows and unicorns when you started on this journey? Okay. Well, it's turned out to be a bit different, hasn't it? So the spiritual journey is a journey of darkness, deep into the shadow patterns of your karma. Okay. And unless we go deep into them, we're not going to get to the love, light, and unicorns. And that's something they don't tell you. So our karma is our primary learning. The hardest thing we face is our primary learning. Because when all the hard stuff in our karma manifests when we're young, so we get pretty clear what we don't like in life. So the law of attraction is trying to attract to us our positive gift of service eventually, but we'll get the exact opposite initially in our karmic patterns in both spiritual and physical karma in our soul contract chart, so that we can turn into it and engage with it. But our natural instinct is to turn away from the hard stuff, which is what most humans do, which is why life is not too happy for most people, because they're not actually engaged and brought consciousness to their issues. And so that's the biggest secret of life, is that you've actually got to turn into the pain, bring consciousness to it, and transmute it. And then gradually, which is what the soul wants you to do, because when something's painful, it gets your attention. So that's why it's there. So the opposites gives you everything you don't want, so you get clear what you do want. If you're feeling disempowerment, then the idea is to turn into that shadow, dark pain and transmute it layer by layer into positive empowerment. Because if you're feeling disempowered, it means you're here to empower others. Say you felt very shy as a child. I did. My journey was to feel the unworthiness to show myself. and then eventually become a communicator and a teacher and a writer. So the thing which you turn away from the most is the thing you need to turn into the most, because that's actually how you're going to break free from where you are in your life at the moment. It's pretty, it doesn't seem, it seems unnatural the way that works, but that's actually how it works on earth, because we come here to be as separate from God as possible and to go through a unique journey of awakening by coming out of the unconsciousness of the shadow karmic patterns, the negative expression of them. Doesn't mean they're bad, it's just that you as a spark of the divine chose that. And there's no other life you should be living, by the way. This is the only life you're meant to have. Just don't think you could have got away with it and done something else. Okay. So the idea here is to turn into the karma, bring feeling consciousness to it, and transmute it, and layer by layer, the pain will go away and the gift will start to emerge. That's the key. And the reason that most people get stuck in life is because they don't do that. They're not even aware they should be doing that, let alone have the tools. That's the key. And this work is all about understanding what is the unique gifts of service that we're here to reveal within ourselves and within those we work with, if we're a practitioner of some sort, so they can deliver the gift of service. Otherwise, you end up being in middle age or more old. Most people go pretty bitter and unhappy because they have not had the awareness of how it really works here. And the purpose of this work is to bring that awareness to as many people as possible. Okay, so let's keep going. So you are the answer to that if you're interested in doing this work. It's a calling, this work. It's because you've done it before in some form. And if you're drawn to it, it's because you seek truth and absolute truth and structure of how life works, which is what this work is all about. Okay? Because people are searching for the real truth of what's going on in their life. And there's so much falsehood out in the world, as you've seen, especially recently. And so you're here to bring the light of consciousness, the absolute truth of why someone exists, why they were born, what they're here to do. And you're here to hold sacred space if you learn how to do this work, so they awaken to their true purpose. And that 1 hour you spend with them will change your life forever. It's up there with, the birth of their kids, getting married, all the big things in life. They'll never forget what happens when they receive a reading. Because what it's doing is it's decoding the secrets of the blueprint of life for spiritual seekers. 2 to 3% of the population of spiritual seekers like us. We come to awaken the other 97, 98% of the population who are called the ground crew, who go very asleep, as you've noticed, because they chose to do that. And us souls who had less time to evolve, doesn't mean we're better than them. We just had more experience, that's all. And our job is to share that with other spiritual seekers and anyone else who wants to awaken, to reveal the hidden secrets within the sounds of their birth name. Because those sounds are programmed into your DNA, into a substance called karmic matrix. All right. And that karmic matrix is like a grey cobweb energy that sits at the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional levels of us. And it's actually literally radiating out to the matrix. How many of you seen the movie The Matrix? Put your hand up. Okay, well, it's about as close as it gets to what's really going on here. Okay, so within you, out of your DNA and this karmic matrix, it's radiating out to the matrix, and the matrix is rearranging around your contract. So if you understand what that soul contract is, or someone you're working with understands what that is, then you can transform it. So the outer reality that's rearranging around you can change if you can transmute with targeted recommendations what's in the soul contract. So this is what this work allows you to do for yourself and to help others do that. Because it helps you first understand what the karma is rather than being bouncing off the walls, all sorts of weird stuff happening. So Sandra, thanks for joining us. If you want to switch the video on and connect with us, just say yes to the promote panelist little window, or you can just stay there and you can just message me in the chat if you want. It's up to you. Participate with as much or as little as you like here. Or you can just turn the microphone on now, giving you sound access there. But welcome. So you can understand and overcome the karma. It's a relief as the layers of that go away. Express more of your talents and achieve the dreams or goals. Most people just have dreams and goals, but never get there because they haven't got through the stuff up here first. And if you're working on all three of these, overcoming the karma, bring the talents online, starting to achieve the goals, that can help you and others manifest their soul or life purpose. That special thing that everyone is searching for, especially light workers from a very early age. That deepest secret of what their life's about. I was searching for that from the time I was an early teenager. I was thinking, something I'm really important I'm here to do, and I'm not finding it at school, I'm not finding it at university, I'm not finding it at work. Someone's not telling me something. They weren't telling me this. I was looking for this thing and I couldn't find it. So I went traveling in my mid-20s, all through Asia, which I found very spiritual, like going to Thailand with the Buddhism and same with Tibet. And that sort of woke me up spiritually in the beginning of my awakening. And I was searching for this life purpose, but it took about 3 years to actually get to Frank Alpa in Arizona in 1990. And that's when I discovered what this was all about. Life has been completely different ever since. So the way this works is that your soul looks at all its past lives, and it looks at what would be the optimal set of experiences for this next lifetime. So it's going to look at all the past experiences and create another increment, another variation on that. And it chooses a name, whose set of vibrations and whatever language it's in, it's going to create that specific reality. It chooses the parents, the genetics. It chooses a time zone you're going to arrive in, country, culture, key relationships. And then it sends its energy through this Star of David or Shield of David. It's a geometric energetic construct, okay, which is going to take those set of energies in it and then convert it into a set of frequencies that are going to manifest the reality the soul desires. So we have here a large downward pointing triangle, which represents the physical side of life. Because each of us in our earth suits this time and our new egos are brand new. None of us have had a past life, just our soul has had a past life with a different personality. So you're all brand new. So you need to learn to walk and talk, get conditioned responses, get up and running, careers, relationships. And then between the ages of 35 and 42, which is, we work in 7-year cycles, so we spend the first 7 times 5 equals 35 years focusing on this. What happens is that we get up and running, and between the ages of 35 and 42, usually or earlier, we have the midlife crisis or the spiritual awakening. How many of you guys have been through that dark night of the soul? Okay, where you question everything, because the soul, what it's doing is it's triggering this upward pointing triangle. It's saying, okay, it's saying, Patricia, enough of this, time to leave this job, time to get on with the real mission. And there's sort of an urgency, isn't there, Patricia? It's like, I got to find out how to do this, because what I was doing in the past, it just doesn't work anymore. So it's the soul doing it, because it wants you to activate this upward triangle here, which is the real spiritual mission, which is hoping you're going to build upon a good foundation with a physical triangle here. That's what it's hoping. So, and within each of these triangles, these 3 aspects, there's karma, physical karma in this case, talents, and goals. And so what's happening here is that the physical karma triggers from the time you're born. Physical talents are latent and they help overcome it. If it's a good match, if it's not a good match, it's going to take you longer. And the physical talents then help you move towards the physical goals, the dreams we have. So the energy flows from karma, talents to goals. In the physical outer world, And the spiritual karma also activates. And these spiritual talents here, they overcome that. If it's a good match, and the spiritual talent is how we open to higher consciousness, how we bring our gift in from higher self. Because it's not just little us in our earth suits doing it. We're a vessel for higher consciousness to embody and express through us, provided we've cleared enough of the issues in our soul contract, enough of the issues in our ego. And the spiritual talents moves us towards the spiritual goals. What excites us in terms of spiritually getting out in the world? What excites me is sharing knowledge. Okay, that's what excites me. So the energy again flows from karma to talents to goals. And then here we have, if we consciously work on these 6 outer aspects, over time, it's percentage complete. What happens here is that as we complete each of these, as we progress through them, each of those contributes towards our soul destiny. The creation of that most fulfilling thing of what we're here to really do. And the soul destiny is revealed in layers. So every time you sort of hit a threshold of enough completion by consciously working on the 6 outer aspects, a different part of the soul destiny is revealed. But only enough that you can handle. The soul would never reveal to you sort of the parts which are going to happen 10, 20 years down the road, because you probably wouldn't be ready for it. You notice how life never turns out the way you think it would? Okay, that's why. Because you have to be ready for it. Okay. So the idea is to work through all of this, manifest the soul destiny, and get through as much of the learning and then expressional gifts that comes from the learning as possible. Okay. Right. Any questions on that? Okay. Let's get back to this. Okay. So, Tricia, would you like a taster reading?
Sure.
Yeah, where you can ask pretty much whatever question you like. So I just want to demonstrate this to everybody. So let me get the software up here. It's going to come up. Here it is. So this is our software, soulcontractreader.com. So it's the online software we have for book readers and for practitioners. Okay. So it's web-based, so you can use it on any device. So what's the current commonly used name, Patricia?
Okay, so I want to ask a question, because when I had a soul reading with this woman in August, she did a name optimization for me. So I don't know should we use that one or just my birth name?
No, we're just talking about birth names here.
Just birth name. Okay.
Yeah.
So my name, so it's Patricia Ann, like it says on the screen. And then another middle name I have is Opal.
Like that?
Patricia Ann Opal Aaron. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is that's the birth name. So how do you normally go? Just Patricia Aaron or Patricia Ann Aaron?
Yeah, just Patricia Ann Aaron commonly. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. All right. Hi, Judy. Okay, we won't put your birthday because it's a public video. We'll leave the star sign out. You're okay for me to look at your chart?
Oh, sure.
Yep. I'm just going to ask.
Oh, birthday or?
No, this is just a consent date. I'm not going to put your birthday on on a public video. Okay. All right. So we just tap that in there. Okay. We add that in. We can simply go chart and it's analyzed it. So I've got to cover you guys. Some of you are very familiar with this, some people aren't familiar at all. So the way we decode this is that we take the name in written English here, in this case. If it's non-English names, we need to convert it into the equivalent written English as it's pronounced. Like for Beata, we had to go from the Polish or from Eleanor from the Danish into written English as it's pronounced, but it's another thing altogether, which we're not going to do here. So most English names, we can just enter into the software. And what the software does is it finds the equivalent Hebrew sounds. In this case, they're pretty much identical because it's 22 ancient Hebrew letters we use. And the unique thing about this numerology system compared to conventional ones, so if you're thinking of doing this as a business, is that in Hebrew, numbers and letters are inherently the same symbol and same sound. They're inherent within it. There is no allocation of numbers to the English alphabet, which is what most conventional numerology systems do. Because Hebrew comes out of the movement of Great Spirit, of God and the creation of creation. So it literally is the sounds of God. And ancient Hebrew script is literally the movement of God, which is why this thing is so powerful, because it has not been detuned. It's not gone through, it's not lost its level of consciousness. So if you're thinking, say, Patricia, of creating a business out of this, you're offering something completely differentiated from what is normally out in the world. Okay, that's why we call it soul contract reading. It used to be called the spiritual numerology of Moses, but I realized that because everyone was asking me when I called it that, well, just like the $10 book I can buy in the shop. I said, well, no, it's not. It's something quite different. So then I decided I channeled it through to call it soul contract reading, which explains more what it's really about. Okay, so it's quite different. So we get all these Hebrew numbers dropping out of the name there. Then what we do is we decode them on the star. We start at physical karma here. We take the first 6 numbers here. We start at 17 and we go around the star. Like this. Till we use them all up. And then what we do is we add them up. So it's fine, say this one. Total and spiritual goals is 17. 11 plus 5 plus 1 is 17. So 17 becomes the first number there. And over here, it's got a combination number. It's another number. To get the other number, we simply go 1 plus 7 equals 8. Okay, so this is just an English number, which is a label for a Hebrew frequency. This is Pei and Ches in Hebrew. So there's 2 frequencies of Hebrew, and there's every blend in between to be explored. So Patricia, you're going to explore the whole range here throughout this life. From a pure 17 to a pure 8, plus all the blends in between it as a goal to achieve. So physical karma, the total here is 53, which has no meaning because we only have 22 numbers. So we simply go 5 plus 3 equals 8. Because there's only one number, we go 8 plus another 8. 8 plus nothing is a second 8, so we get an 8, 8. So it's one frequency only. So rather than a range of frequencies like this, you've got one frequency the soul wants you to focus on. So, excuse me. That's why one part of your life feels, some parts of your life will feel very narrow. Have a drink. And other parts will feel very expansive. Okay. So work out all the other numbers accordingly. What about that? And then we take these physical numbers and place them on the top half of this table. And we take the spiritual numbers and place them on the bottom half of the table. Yeah. And then we add them up to get the 56 and the 38. So we need to reduce this to the first number between 1 and 22. So 5 plus 6 is 11. 3 plus 8 equals 11. And 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, so we get an 11 and a 2 is a soul destiny, which pops in the middle. And then what we get is all these channel symbols that Frank put through, which have a specific meaning. They're like energy portals. So what's the main question you've got about your life at the moment, Patricia? And I'll do give you a very brief reading to get a feel for this. People see how it works.
Yes, I mean, really, where am I going? Have I completed my bottom half of my triangle? I'm 43. I really just at this point, like you were saying, I'm at that crossroads where I really feel like I've got to get out of the matrix. I've got to really start living authentically. And so I guess what is like for me, what I'm searching for right now is what is the best match for me in that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in physical karma, you've got an 8-8. I'll just give a little brief reading on each one. This is like an amoeba. The artist was talking about the amoeba previously. So this is a watery emotional creature. So you're here to emotionally ground on earth, move out of the head into the body, into the watery emotions, and feel the big, huge range of emotions here, because they're very polarized and extreme. How's that been going?
Yeah, that's definitely been happening. I mean, when I was younger, I was all over the place, traumatized, in addiction, abuse, really all over the map and couldn't control my feelings. So I've gained some control over them and realized that grounding is like really important. So that makes sense.
Yeah, because you hit a ground in the body, moving the head into the body, and form clear emotional boundaries with others so that the watery emotions of you don't spill over into someone else's emotional life. So learn to visit people, but not get over involved in their stuff. So boundaries may be an issue for you.
Mhm.
Looking at this here, because this is saying you didn't come here very often. But what's interesting in your chart is your talents are 7s, your goals are 7s, and your karma is 7, spiritual karma is 7. So this is saying here that you're here to heal a heart wound of the 7. Saying there's a heart wound, probably from the abuse that you've been through. And what the ego does is it hides away. Part of it doesn't want to be seen because it'll feel, the inner child will feel, doesn't want to be seen as bad or be rejected. So it puts out a facade, puts out a mask here. And says, look at that, but don't look at me. Does that sound familiar?
Mhm.
Yeah. So are you acting when you teach? Are you putting on an act?
I'm sure. Yeah, I've been acting since I came out of the womb. I had to.
Yeah.
And that just continued in all the work I do. I'm great at acting. People think I'm calm and confident. And I'm like, what? That's not how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're here to learn to drop the facade,
Mhm.
heal that wounded heart from childhood, then express your true feelings and thoughts out in the world. It's sort of terrifying, isn't it, that idea? Yeah. Yeah. But that's the lesson of this.
Mhm.
Okay? It's a karmic lesson here, it's a goal here, and even in talents, you're still here to learn to do that to some degree. Because what happens then, when you do that, is that as the heart opens, you'll magnetize lots of like-minded people to you. So how are your social networks and professional networks?
I've had a huge shift going on in my life in probably the last 2 years, where I'm honestly already shifting out of teaching, just doing a remote job, and I've started attracting a lot more people in my life who are on the same wavelength as me. So I feel like I'm moving towards the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're here to be a facilitator of like-minded people and build a network, and you're here to synergize that whole network into a greater whole. Definitely here to work with groups.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And how's teaching? How's that experience been?
Well, I'm really good at it. I really am good at it. So it's been great in showing me my talent in that way, but I don't want to use it in the public schools anymore. Really, my dream is to open up a beautiful retreat center and invite people to come and share their systems or whatever. That's feels right for me, but I'm over here and that's over there. So I think the teaching did play a role though, because I'm naturally just really good at it.
Yeah. Well, because you're here to be the facilitator. And that was training for being, I'd say, a spiritual teacher of some sort. It's sharing authentically from the heart. Okay. That's what that's about. So this 7 here helps you draw people to you, whereas the 8 is a bit reluctant to reach out to people initially. Because it has to learn to use its right hand to symbolically reach out. And this is 7, this is the part of you that's hiding, part of you hides away, either physically or behind the mask, or both. Are you in the country in New Mexico, or you're in the town?
I'm in more of a town. There's a lot of people here.
Yeah, that's good for you. Do you feel you want to go and hide away on a mountain somewhere with no one else around?
Yes, I'm definitely a hermit by nature.
A cave would be fine. Yeah, that's what 7 wants to do. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Virtual translation of the interpretation is wants to hide away in the Himalayas in a cave and not be seen ever again.
Yes, I'd like to attain my enlightenment that way, not interacting with others, but that's not the case.
I once had a practitioner who used to literally she lived in a cave in the Himalayas. And she came on the training, came all the way from there. She was English. And then when she heard that, she thought, oh my God, I've been hiding for 9 years in a cave, for real. And then she actually left that shortly after we came back to England and realized, can't be doing that anymore. Then she understood what she was doing. Okay. So here, because you've got 6 7s, it's very much about opening the heart, healing it, and drawing like-minded people to you to teach them, and work with groups, I'd say, in your retreat center. Because you're here actually to build community. You feel strongest to build community?
It seems it's always happened to me where I've got a lot of different people coming to me and then I get them together. And this is just in friends groups, not business or not me doing it, for work. But yeah, it's definitely been a theme in my life.
Yeah.
You could say.
Yeah. So you're here to build community and emotionally connect and synergize and build communities of like-minded people. Okay. And the 10-1 here is spiritual talents. Tell me about your dad.
He was not really in my life. I met him when I was around 13. He wasn't really a strong father figure. He had a lot of problems himself. Wasn't able to be responsible. He was a free spirit and he wasn't much of a father. He died when I was 25, I think. So really kind of an enigma of a person, if you will. Yeah.
Well, the 10-1 is the 1 here. Even though it's in talents, there's still a karmic aspect to it. It's about disconnect from the masculine aspect of God. And our parents, mother, father, God is represented by our mother, father, biologically our parents. It's how our ego wishes to separate from mother, father, God. So if we resolve the issues with our parents within us, doesn't mean we're going to do it with the real physical parents, then we'll reconnect to mother, father, God, because the primary separation program is how we disconnect from mother, father, God, and that formulates all our other programs. In your case, it's about the absence of, this is the divine masculine aspect of God, the absence of it here, and to heal that wound. And the 10 here is about learning to bring the balanced masculine and feminine aspects of God into reality to be a pure service. That's why you're a teacher in the first place. And what's your relationship like with your mom? Because this is mother, father, God combined.
Oh, we're totally estranged. I haven't spoken to her for 15 years and she was my primary abuser. So yeah, I've had to really get into a more of a cosmic relationship with mother, father.
Yeah.
Really over time, meeting people like Amma or, these divine figures that kind of embody the masculine feminine has helped me a lot on my journey. But yeah, that's my relation. There is no relationship really with either of my parents.
Yeah. Okay, because this is the disconnection from Mother, Father, God.
Mhm.
So it's about reconnecting to the archetype within you and connecting to the divine feminine, divine masculine. That's the key to unlocking this whole life and moving forward for you. Okay. And the 17.8 here is about learning to speak the word of God out in society. So this is speech out in society, overcoming suppression of expression to speak out in society, in this case in your community. And the 11.2 is life and death. Physical death, you lost your father early, okay, but also emotional death, you lost the relationship with your mother. So it's learning about how out of the death of things, new life comes. The shattering of an old structure here, the way your life was. The shattering of a structure and allowing all the chaos of it, and then building a new structure of your life at a higher level. So you're going to have these shatterings periodically. So you're going to grow in a sort of stepwise fashion. So there's a new Patricia, I don't know, maybe 5-6 years, maybe more. And you have a certain cycle. Have you noticed that? Things get shattered and you rebuild. Then you lift.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Most people sort of grow gradually like that, but you grow in steps.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's about allowing this chaos to go on longer than you'd like. And but the new you will turn up. And the 2 is about learning to become wise in the process and learning to move from being impulsive to being very considered in what you do, because it's foolishness to wisdom. So your head will learn wisdom through impulsive decision. Has that been happening when you were younger?
Oh yes, gosh, I did
So
much
in real trouble.
real trouble. I'm talking trouble with the law. Yes.
Yeah.
I got myself into some messes when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you feel you're wiser now as a result of all that
Definitely.
that experience?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because if you're going to teach others, you need to have attained wisdom, and it's usually going to be in a very challenging way.
Has been very challenging.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you're here to build your own unique structure of truth and support others and share it with an open heart in a very grounded, emotionally connected way, and to channel through this higher consciousness, balance Mother, Father, God energies, and allow that to guide you in your own unique structure of truth. That's what you're here to do. And you've been drawn to this sort of work because you're looking for the absolute structure of how life works. This is a very common number in people interested in becoming a practitioner.
Oh, okay.
Because you've been looking for that your whole life. How does this work? And when you find it, you know when you found it. So
Yeah,
I've got
exactly.
these, which is why I was into this. So,
Okay.
so how does that sound? Is that given some clarity?
Yeah, thank you so much, Nicolas. That definitely gives clarity and resonates with my experience. So yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions, anyone, about this? That's just to give a demo of how it works. And I've not met Patricia before, so I know more about her than her parents did, just in that brief look. Any comments or questions?
Could I just ask a question now?
Yeah.
Because we've listened to everything, and as a practitioner, one day we're doing it to others, and let's say we would say to others that as you go on your path and you reconnect to everything that is true about what you've come to do, is this, we would say, the sort of process of overcoming the karma and restoring yourself, or it's not necessarily always going to be that way? So how, because that's what I'm trying to understand, because sometimes I've been on this journey, as you say, 15 years. That doesn't mean I haven't been evolving, yet I can still see all of these things cropping up in my life. This is what I'm trying to say. It's an ongoing process, but because people, when they hear you're here to heal them, soul contract reading, would that be a healing for them?
On a diagram here. I'm looking for one down here. That's the one I want.
Because I don't know, maybe it's just the information for them to start healing and reconnecting.
Well, it can be very healing in the fact that you're bringing the absolute truth of what has been going on to someone's life. And so the ego will spend all its energy trying to keep someone from awakening. Because the idea, here's my picture, yeah, this one. This is source at the 12th dimensional level. And it created this universe, this creation, by breathing out its consciousness through the lower levels of dimensions here. So we got to the third dimension, where we sort of, in our little air suits, feeling completely separate from God, wondering what's going on here. This place doesn't feel right, don't know why, there's something's wrong. You know, the splinter in your mind in the matrix. And the ego is creating a lot of illusion for people, which is why they go around doing some pretty strange things. And the soul contract then says, this is the illusion, the filter, the ego filter you've been living in the matrix here. And when someone realizes it, they go, oh my God, it's all the program behind the whole thing. It explains everything in my life. And then they can work with it. So it's like driving around at night in a car with no lights on, not knowing where you want to go. That's how most people go through life. So it's not going to end too well, is it? So when you have a soul contract, you bring consciousness, you bring light to it, you switch the lights on, you get handed the spiritual sat nav. Okay, we are going to go to, I don't know, we're in Los Angeles, we're going to go to New York. And here's the map of how to get here. So when you actually follow that, you're not going to crash anymore, are you? A lot less likely, because you know where you're going to go. You're not going to waste a lot of time doing things which don't work. So you're going to get, ultimately, you're trying to get back to God. It's a pathway back to God, the soul contract work. And we each have our own unique path of feeling completely separate to reconnecting to Mother, Father, God up here. And this is what this is about. So it's healing in the terms of, first healing is realizing, actually, this was all meant to happen, which is hard for most people to accept. And then there's a way of actually overcoming it all, if you apply the right tools. So it's very freeing as well. There's a pathway, there's a meaning. So people can then put 80% of their effort into the 20% of things that matter, that will get them on this pathway of ascending in consciousness back to God. Then you apply your healing tools, whatever they are. We use divine healing to clear the issues identified in the soul contract. Okay, so basically it's ultimately very healing, because when you know who you are, where you're meant to go, I mean, you're halfway there when you know who you are and where you're meant to go. When you think about it before you have this knowledge, you're not going to get very far if you don't actually know where you're meant to go. And this is what this is all about. Because then people gain confidence and they feel, okay, this is all true. It explains everything. Let's get on with it. And because they're much more certain with that intention, guess what happens by the law of attraction? Things start happening. Things start transforming, because they know absolutely this is the way it's meant to go. And they go and take actions based upon the work, because we have recommendations on how you can move forward, and things start to move. Doesn't mean it's not challenging, but at least you know you're doing the right things that are going to work, rather than trying a whole bunch of random stuff which doesn't work. So it's a very long answer, which is basically summarized by yes, Beata.
Sorry, say it again.
It's a very long answer I gave you.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good answer.
But basically the answer is yes. Okay. Right. So what was I? Right. So this is sort of summarized on this page. So if you're some sort of therapist or facilitator, it will give clients the spiritual map of life so they have a profound and immediate understanding of the issues, as you will as well. It actually guides them through all the work with you. It builds immediate trust, because you know what's going on, they know what's going on, and the ego is floundering because you just shone light on it, and all of its deceptions are just being blown out the water. Can't fool you anymore. And because someone knows what the truth is, they just want to get on with it. And they want to engage with you because you know what's going on. And so you get faster results in terms of transforming the issues, because you'll know what patterns are running. Because the soul will run certain patterns for a few days, weeks, or months, then it'll switch to something else. Okay, like I'm in a 4 phase at the moment, which is about trusting in the flow. And the other day, 2 days ago, it was a 3 phase, feeling worthy to be loved. So you never know what's going to come in the morning. This is the way it works. But at least you know what's going on. And because you know what's going on, and you give people recommendations with this work, they know what to do about it. So it's not about, oh, here we go again. It's more, okay, now this is coming up. I know what to do with it. Let's just get on with it. So people make a lot more progress. So with this work, the transmission of the training basically helps you understand yourself and everyone else in your life. And you basically learn how to give readings, to hold that sacred space, to transmit all that knowledge we just talked about to somebody so they can actually get the truth of what's really been going on and know what to do about it. And your intuition and channel already opens up in the process to deliver that, because it's not just little old you in this earth, it's about opening to the divine high consciousness to transmit to someone exactly what they need to hear in that moment to grow, to move forward in their life, and that very profound experience that they're going to have from a reading. Welcome, Claire. So how many of you guys have read the book? I know Patricia has. Okay, so this is not more of the book, the training. So it's not about going deeper into the book. The book is based upon a subset of this level 1 training, which is birth certificate names, because there's 3 levels. Okay, this level is where you will get immersed in the energies for the first 3 days, where we will take your birth name and we will talk about each of the numbers, or you will actually talk about each of the numbers. We'll if we have enough people, it's usually the case, you will talk about your karmic 22 or your karmic 7 in your case, Patricia. And people will hear that, the pain that it has to have to act all the time, and they will never forget that. So you get an energetic emotional transmission of what a number means from everyone else in the class. We spend 3 days doing that. It's a very strong transmission, and we will refer to the manual, but most of it is about hearing the direct experience, and that will stay with you forever. You will never forget that experience. And someone explains the exquisite challenges emotionally they had with that. So we spend 3 days doing that. And so your body will absorb it. Your DNA will awaken to it. It'll sit in your energy field. So this training is about becoming the work. It's not about knowing it. Like year 11 too, Patricia wants to know everything. We're not going to do that. You're going to become it. Because when you become something, you never forget it. It's the way this works, is experiential learning. And then what we do, okay, is that I'll talk about this one. I want to get to the end, this bit here. So what you'll do is then the last 2 days, we give and receive readings based upon that transmission. We teach you how to hold sacred space to help someone awake and take them through that process of hearing that truth in a way they can handle and engaging. And we build a dialogue with them. We have a cosmic conversation. And because you become the work, you'll be amazed at what will come out of your mouth. Because you'll be looking at the manual thinking, oh my God, there's a lot of manual, but actually it'll just come through you. And you'll touch people at the very deepest level of their being. Hang on, where's she gone? Okay. She'll come back. And so it touches people at the very deepest level of their being, and they will never forget that day, which is what we teach you to do. And if you give the reading and you receive the reading, so you learn what it is to be on both ends of it. And what happens there is that you leave the workshop and you practice enough you can then deliver the work. Okay. You're okay, Patricia?
Yeah, sorry, it just kicked me off for some reason, but I'm back.
Yeah. So I was just saying in the last part, you'll give and receive readings, profound readings, and as long as you practice afterwards to maintain the transmission, to embed it, then you can go out in the world and deliver it, and you'll be amazed at how good you are. It's taken us 25 years to figure out, taken 25 over nearly 30 years to figure out how to do this work. So the book has a powerful transmission, but this here is going another quantum level beyond it, where you have become it, you're transmitting it. So you won't be learning more, you'll be becoming it. It's about the best way I can describe it. Okay. Any questions on that so far? This is how this thing actually works.
I just would like to know, so you don't run the level 1, because level 1 is your book, isn't it?
No, the book is based on the level 1 manual, a subset of it. So we're talking about the level 1 training, where you learn how to give the birth chart readings. In your case, if you decided to come here, you get the latest transmission. It'll reactivate it in you, and then it'll rebuild your confidence to actually start doing it again.
So it wouldn't be the level 1, or it would be the level 1?
It is level 1.
Oh, it is 11. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting confused.
So the book is based upon the level 1 training, the content of the manual, but that's just knowledge for the mind. It's a transmission. The actual training itself is an activation into the frequencies of all the numbers and the teaching of how to hold space. In your case, it'll be a reactivation of the knowledge.
So you basically, it wouldn't be a repetition of what I did before. You do it totally different nowadays.
This is a totally different training than you would have had 50 years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Totally different.
Thank you.
80–90% different.
So we would have to read the book before?
No, you don't have to read the book.
Okay.
You don't have to. It helps a bit, but it's not critical, because Judy, you're going to be activated into it anyway. Okay. It's whatever feels right to you. So, okay. So what else? I want to talk about the middle slides now. Okay, so our aim is to, if you're interested in this, if you're drawn to this, is to get you out there to deliver a good reading. So we have ongoing community support, peer-to-peer community support with a private Facebook group. Plus we have paid for support programs, which are optional. We do those for about 5 or 6 months after the training, because people find they need that support. It's what they've requested to actually integrate it into their business or launch a business. And basically, we can ask any question you like about preparing and delivering readings. Okay. We talk a little bit about marketing as well, but there's only so much you can do in those sessions. So what is your client going to get? They're going to get a deep feeling of peace when they hear the truth of their life expressed so profoundly and accurately. They're going to feel relieved to know there's actually an order and meaning to all the disparate experiences. That's the one I had. All this crazy stuff going on, there was a reason for it. And those who feel like a victim of life can take charge and move forward from wherever they are. Those who had a really tough time with their contract. So basically, it's very empowering and freeing, so people can move forward. And so what you're actually doing is that you're showing them the overall spiritual map of life, where they are on it, and specific recommendations how they can overcome the specific challenges they're experiencing at that time. So they can align to their soul life purpose. Most people are not aligned to theirs, which is why life's challenging. And it really touches people's beings at a very deep level. There's a lot of connection, trusting connection. So they can go very deep in when they work with you, with say follow-on work. So a lot of the practitioners find that soul contract reading is the first thing they do with people. So they do all this up here, show them where people are, and they follow up with divine healing for multiple sessions, repeat sessions, simply because once someone knows what's going on, they know you know what's going on, they're going to come back and say, okay, let's clear my contract. Let's clear the roadblocks on the spiritual map of life so I can align to my purpose. So people get really enthusiastic and motivated with us in terms of moving forward. And also it opens us to a deeper level of connection to others and compassion, because people can't help what they do because of their contract. It's just the way it's built. Okay. So yeah, it's a real gift to share this with people. So any questions, guys?
I just have one.
Yeah.
You said people can't help what they do, but isn't there a bit of this thing with being responsible for one's life and having free will? I guess I'm thinking of one shouldn't use the number as an excuse to get away with things.
I'm not saying that it's an excuse. What I'm saying is that initially people aren't so conscious, and the numbers are the programming, and the frequency is driving them to have certain experience and do certain things. And that they can't help initially until they become conscious enough to realize, oh, I'm disempowering people. Better stop that. Once they've had a reading, then they can do something about it. But when they're not so conscious, there's nothing often people can do, because the level of consciousness there, it's just going to happen, because that's what they needed to go through.
Yeah.
Okay. So once they become conscious, then they can take responsibility. Okay.
Okay.
Because if they were conscious and were taking responsibility, they wouldn't do it again, would they? Or they try hard not to. You see. So it's not just because it's a matter of where someone is on their path in terms of how conscious they are of what's going on. And the job of a practitioner is to help someone get conscious of what's going on. Okay. Any other questions? Also from you guys watching.
I have a question, and I'm about when is the next training for the level 1?
Okay. I'll show another slide here. When's the next one? It's in spring. It's the 17th to the 19th of March. That's a Friday to a Sunday. It's the first 3 days where you get the transmission of the numbers. And then the 26th of March, the following weekend, we do practice.
Okay.
We call it the California Mom Special, because they're the ones who ask for that, because they're too busy working and juggling 3 kids in a career. But they're trying to get out of their job, you see, a bit like you. So they said to me, make it a weekend and we'll be there. And after the third person said that, I thought, we'll do that. So,
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
okay.
And unfortunately, I have to log off because I got to go to my matrix job now. So I really appreciate your being here, and thank you, and nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Patricia. You can find out more at soulcontractreadingtraining.com.
Okay, excellent. Thank you so much.
Where are you Central Time?
I'm in Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, Mountain Time is going to be 5:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. for you.
Oh, I see it there. Okay, perfect.
Okay. We start late in the UK at midday, so that you guys don't have to get up too early. So, okay.
Okay, excellent. I look forward to it.
All right. Thanks for being here, Patricia.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye.
Any other questions on that?
Actually, so you have somebody's chart right in front of you, and as you were doing with Patricia, okay, so you see this number, this means that. Do you ever also like channel? And I could see that this happened when, because I do read, and I was just thinking, I wonder if, like, do they go together even?
What do you mean by channel in that case, Judy?
So just say I'm doing a healing session for somebody, and they'll say, can you just look at my chakras? And I could kind of, yeah, well, in your first chakra, you have this going on. And I could see that it has something to do with your father, just how you were saying in her soul talent, the 10/1, like what was going on with your dad and your mom. So I'm assuming that those symbols mean that, but do you ever even read more?
What happens is that you use your intuition and channel within the context of the interpretation. We teach you how to do that.
Okay.
You may get inspired to say certain things which are within there.
Right.
Things were just coming to me when I was doing Patricia's reading. They will be in the context of the number and the context of the dialogue, the conversation we're having. So yes, the answer is yes to that, but it'll be completely irrelevant because once you're in the energy of it, it will just the guidance team you're with, okay, and the guidance team and your higher self will just guide you on what to say. We teach you how to do that. So things will just come out of your mouth, which will be pretty profound for that person because it's about letting go and being in the feminine flow. It'll flow through you.
Right.
Within the structure here, because the structure holds people, but there's a lot of freedom of movement within the structure, Judy.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Or you have to be good at math.
No, you don't. We have a software. You have to be good at typing. That's all.
Okay,
Be good at typing, and long as you can type it into the software, the computer will look after the rest.
Great.
So don't worry about school math tool or anything like that. It's
All right. So another question. So just say you're reading my chart. And in the beginning you said, so, what do you want to get out of this? And honestly, I didn't even know this was what this was about, but I'm so excited that this is what this is about. So I was saying, like there's a part of me that, is like kind of protecting myself. So would that be in my chart?
oh yeah, your party pretty wants to hide away.
Yeah.
Probably the same number as this one here, as Patricia's got, wanting to hide away.
Right. I related a lot to her chart.
Yeah, well then, and you probably got the same number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions? You guys and the attendees, if you've got anything, you can message me if you want to ask me any questions. So we're going to finish in about 5 minutes.
This was amazing and fascinating.
Helpful?
So interested.
Yeah, good. So
would it be all right, Nicolas, to contact you, or would you have like a time when it's good to call you, or you don't have much time for the sort of communication?
You can just email me, yes, or ask me now. There's a specific question.
I suppose I wanted to check a few more things, but 5 minutes it's not gonna be easy at the moment. So you email you the questions, yes?
Yeah, well, if you want to have a private conversation, we can have a private conversation at the end of this webinar if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to, if it's possible. So did you say after this seminar or some other time?
No, just once we finish this, just stay here and we'll have a chat.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, I could do that. Thank you.
Yeah. So if you guys want to come to this, you go to soulcontractreadingtraining.com, which will get a lot more detail about the course. Some of you guys have just joined us. So the times are 12:30 to 8:30 UK time, 7:30 a.m. start Eastern time, 6:30 a.m. start Central, 5:30 a.m. Mountain time, 4:30 Pacific, because 12:30 to 8:30 p.m. is the latest I can teach and still be functional. So, but we try and make it easier on the West Coasters. But people used to fly taking for this course, but it's a bit easier to get up at 4:30 in the morning. And it will run 2 weekends, 17, 19, 25, 26 March. The deposit is about over $300 or £277. You be out, it's about a third of that, or a third of this. It's similar sort of price to repeat. And the full exchange is 718. or about a bit over $800 if you want to come. So you can just secure your places with a deposit here if you're interested. Okay. But yeah, you meet some good people. Lots of enthusiasts like you guys turn up on the training. Any final questions, anybody, before we finish? No? Well, thanks for coming. It was fun. Hope you got a lot out of that. And we'll finish now. So I'm going to have a chat to Beata. So you guys just need to click on the right-hand side on the red leave meeting. Okay, I'll stop recording now as well. So thank you for coming. That was good fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.